first Christmas gift is gold, given to the young Christ child in his stable. There are golden objects, however, through the National Gallery's collection. From golden apples to golden fleeces and golden vessels, the National Gallery is full of stories about gold.
In the early part of our collection, from the early Renaissance works, the most regular place in which you'll find the act of gift giving going on is in paintings depicting the moment of the Adoration of the Magi. The moment that painters normally choose to depict is the moment in which these gifts are given over.
Vincenzo Foppa's The Adoration of the Kings was painted in the early 1500s. We see in the painting the king surrounded by a retinue of courtiers, page boys. We see a page boy adjusting the spurred footwear of one of the kings. We also see a page boy holding the crown of one of the kings.
Some of the gold details that we see are much more vivid and more plastic in their appearance. They are rendered using pastilla, where the artist builds up the surface first to create a 3D effect, before then putting gold leaf over the top. So today, these gold elements really pop out to us, and they would have been very impressive when the painting was first made, but today they seem to stand out even more because of the way in which the rest of the painted surface has degraded over time, and that is thanks to this use of pastilla, where it really creates this 3D effect and the gold can really shine out to us today.
In Rubens' Judgement of Paris, we see our protagonist, Paris, at the right-hand side of the picture, and in his hand he's holding a golden apple. So there was a dispute between the gods at a wedding, of all places, as to who was the most beautiful goddess. And the three goddesses we see in the picture, Venus, Minerva and Juno, very, very much wanted to be crowned the most beautiful goddess.
Venus, the goddess of love, offers Paris the love of the most beautiful woman in the world if he'll give her the golden apple. Minerva, the goddess of war and wisdom, promises Paris victory in battle. And Juno, the queen of the gods, offers him land and riches.
Paris is in the process of making his decision. He's awarding the golden apple to the fairest goddess, and he's chosen to give it to Venus, the goddess of love. And so he's reaching forward to pass the apple over to her.
The apple isn't actually the most standout, shiny part of the painting. There are quite a number of other precious metal elements to the painting that start over on the left with the armour and very particularly the shield of Minerva, also some of Venus's jewellery and the tie that attaches the quiver of arrows to Cupid.
One of the modern figures of Christmas is Father Christmas, and he is universally recognised as the person who delivers gifts to our houses, often down a chimney. He derives almost entirely deliberately from America, but his antecedents is very much St. Nicholas of Bari, who was a 4th century Christian cleric, what's now Turkey. St. Nicholas of Bari came across a nobleman who was impoverished, who had 3 daughters. St. Nicholas decides that he's going to help them. This story is represented in a painting in the National Gallery by Girolamo Macchietti, and the painting shows him rather fabulously about to throw a gold ball through a latticed window. And in the room there are 3 girls asleep and the father also asleep.
The story of Jason and the Argonauts is not really that well represented in art, but there is, at the moment, in the Sainsbury wing of the National Gallery, a really fabulous version of this subject by the Florentine artist Bartolomeo di Giovanni. Jason, the hero from mythology, embarks in a ship called the Argo with his crew, the Argonauts, and they head for the ancient kingdom of Colchis because they want to seize the legendary golden fleece which had magical powers. A repeated figure here is Jason, who is seen getting off the Argo on the left-hand side of the picture, dining with the king of Colchis in the centre of the picture, and then fulfilling a series of challenges on the right-hand side of the picture before he finally seizes and runs off with not just a golden fleece, but a whole golden ram. The entire surface is punctuated with tiny flecks of gold in the armour, in the architecture, in the clothing that some of the figures are wearing, even in the food that's being served.
My favourite painting in the collection in terms of the depiction of golden objects is Foppa and Bruegel the Elder's painting of the Adoration of the Magi. The most interesting gift in this painting is the gift presented by Balthazar. What he holds in his hand is a green nautilus-like shell which has been encased in gold and transformed into a ship. This kind of gift is indicative of the tastes of a wealthy contemporary patron.
So gold manifests itself in a number of different ways and with a number of different meanings. One thing you can be certain of where gold is used in a picture is that there's going to be some kind of reference to power, wealth and status.